Hi all, today we are going to do some chest opening, some front body opening. I've been feeling really closed through the front of my chest and my neck, so we're going to do this together. Let's start in a nice tall seated position, hands to your knees. We'll soften our eyes to a close, settle into your shoulders, into your hips, and then just sort of sensing your own heaviness on the mat, allowing your elbows to fall heavy by your ribs. Maybe nodding your chin toward your chest, allowing that space through the back of the neck. As we take a deep inhale, we'll take our nose up to the sky. Just keeping your eyes softly closed. If that doesn't feel safe or good, you can always bring them to an open. And then we'll exhale, drop the chin back to the chest. If you do have your eyes open, try a soft gaze, maybe not focusing through the eyes. Just allowing everything to be soft and using our breath to lift and lower. Exhale, we drop. Find that heaviness, settling shoulders deeper down your spine. Belly is soft. Last one. Take that deep inhale. Send the sternum a little forward as you lift through the chin. And then exhale, settle back to neutral. We'll put our eyes to open. We're going to take the heels of our palms to our chest here, so kind of just below the collarbone, and then you can just flatten your hands on top. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, you're going to start to lift through the chin, gently pulling on your chest. Very gentle, just kind of opening the webbing through the front of the neck. And then we'll inhale, return back to neutral. Now I'm closing my eyes for this because I can feel a lot of stretch here. You can always keep your eyes open. We exhale, a gentle pull, almost just like a heaviness through the arms as you reach your chin to the sky. You might swallow through these, your nervous system settling. Exhale. Now, if you're not feeling any sort of stretch as we do this, see if you can jut your chin forward a little at the top, almost like a bulldog. Opening through the front of the neck. And release. On the next few, if you feel any tension through one side, we're going to tilt the head to the opposite side. So I have a little more tension through my right side. So as I exhale, I'm going to lift first. And then finish the exhale by leaning to the left. Just finding more expansion there through your sternocleidomastoid on that side, that big ropey muscle through the front of the neck. And then we inhale, return to center. Let's do one more. Always just trying to find that reach away from the gentle pull of the hands. And then we return it back through center. Let's take our hands back behind our head, wrap the shoulders down, bring your elbows into your periphery. Find a nice tall spine. Inhale, we'll exhale, flex over to the right side, rooting down through the opposite hip. Now, because we just started, this might be a little restricted. Inhale through center, exhale to the other side. Starting to feel all of those muscles peeling off of the ribs and reaching down into the hips. And with each one, finding even more heaviness through the opposite side. There's a gentle active press of the back of your head into your hands here, and then a press of your hands into your head. So this reciprocal pressure through the back body, through the shoulders, through the back of the neck. This is also opening through the front of your chest as you sort of pull the chin, gliding it back over the top of your spine. Or the opposite of a forward head motion. Let's do one more each way. Just exhaling into that flex, and as we inhale, grow tall through center. Last one. And then return to back upright. This time we're going to rotate now, so think about your ribs kind of sitting on top of something that would spin, so you can pivot on top of your tailbone. Take the inhale. As we exhale, drive with the elbows without closing them toward your cheeks. We inhale through center, almost like we're spiraling upward, taller. Exhale to the other side. Again, allow this to be small at first, and with each repetition, just getting a little more space, a little more range. Think about your elbows being your pointers, being your point of reference. See if you can direct them a little further without turning the head, without letting the elbows close or go into sort of a false point by taking the elbow further back and not the spine. Still rooting down through the hips, trying not to let them rotate, even subtly. Last one each way. To the other side. And then bring it back to center. Just give your hands a little shake, shoulders a little shake. Let's come to all fours. Hands under your shoulders. Let's nod our chin to our chest, tuck through the tailbone. Find a big rise through the back body, nodding chin even further, finding space through the back of the neck. Then we're gonna let the pelvis fall forward, the belly, then the ribs, then the sternum, chest, shoulders. Soften through the elbows, take the gaze up, rise through the chin. We exhale, tuck under, send tailbone first, lower back, mid back, ribs, shoulder blades, then head drops, pushing away from the hands. Take that inhale, everything softens to the ground except the head and neck, we tilt up. One more, exhale, tuck under, finding that space. Bone by bone, push away, away, away from the mat, and then settle back down into that extension. Once you're at the bottom, you can take your gaze forward. We'll glide the ribs over to the right side, lift them up to the sky, nod chin to chest, circle up and over to the left. Starting to draw a little circle here through your midsection, using your ribs as your guide. Every time you come to one side, that elbow starts to soften down, reach to the other side, and then extend through the elbow to push away from the mat. You're letting your hips be free here, just drawing those spirals through your center, your ribs, your thoracic spine, and your lumbar spine. You can also close your eyes, take your head in the opposite direction. Sometimes it's more confusing to think about that motion than just do it. So just allow your head to move as you move through the spine. It should come a little more naturally that way. And then we'll reverse the direction, starting to go over to the right first. And just being gentle with yourself if you're feeling tight here through the lumbar, through the thoracic. Good. One more. And then return to center. Let's extend back through our right leg, tucking the toes, spiral open to the left, taking the hand to the ceiling. You can let your hips come with you, feel that opening through the hip flexor, up through the obliques, big reach behind you if you can get the arm back there. And then take the arm under, we'll go for a thread the needle, maybe we can tap our head and shoulder down. Take the inhale, spiral open, let the hips come with. Maybe that back heel rotates slightly and taps the mat, or even just your ankle bone starts to touch, and then spiral through. Two more, inhale, drop through, big reach, and then exhale, take it under. Return that hand and foot, we'll send the left behind us. Tuck the toes, spiral open, reach through. Big inhale, opening, seeing if we can reach that hand behind us. A sturdy pressure here in the supporting arm, pressing away from the mat as we extend up. And then softening as we come down, threading the needle. One more, take the inhale, big reach up. And exhale, bring it back. Good, both hands on the mat. Let's tuck the toes here, send the hips up to the ceiling, lifting your knees off the mat, drop back to the heels. It's okay if they can't reach. And then just allow your heels to lift and lower. Now, as we do this, we're gonna start to adjust through the spine. So walk your hands a little closer, draw the shoulders down, and then think about your sternum dropping through. So less of a rounded spine here. Think of letting that space sort of drop the ribs forward. And you're emptying out in between your shoulder blades without letting your shoulders come up. We'll do 3 more. There's an active pull of the shoulders down. So in this position, they're actually pulling up toward your tailbone. 2 more. Good. All right, now holding that length through the spine, holding a gentle heel drop, not super active, but just heavy through the heels. You're gonna hold the extension of the spine as you drop through the knees. Let your head lift just with the motion of your spine. So we almost find like a cat here at the bottom. Then send it up, holding that extension. Give it a little heel drop. Inhale, drop. Open through the chest, maybe the gaze comes a little up. And when I say gaze, I just mean your eyeballs. So not necessarily your head lifting super high, but actually taking your pupils to the top of your gaze, closer to your eyelid, and then press down. And this is just to a hover with the knees. So active through the abdominals here, even though we're really opening through the spine, and that's our focus. 1 more. Good. You can let the knees fall. Take them to a wide knee, walk your hands forward. Let's go for a thumbs up position here and just a little rib glide opening through the front of the chest. Gaze is soft or closed toward the mat. Good. Okay. Come back to the all fours position, knees under hips, hands slightly in front of the shoulders. Wrap the shoulders down. We're gonna drop our elbows, and I want you to imagine as your elbows drop, your head and your neck are sort of pulling forward as you drop. So there's this active pull through the palms, and you're trying to reach your shoulders deeper as you come down and then release. Drag shoulders to ribs, shoulder blades down toward tailbone, and then press. Almost like you're trying to pull the mat apart toward your knees. Keeping the gaze soft here, head in line with the spine. Try not to cock the head back or let it drop. Think about that beautiful alignment when we talked about earlier, pressing your hands into your head and your head into your hands. It's kind of that sensation without the contact. 2 more. Drag, 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 and lift. Last one. Feeling all those muscles running down your spine. Open up. Beautiful. Take a little cat-cow just to reset. And let's swing our legs around out in front. Find a nice tall seated position. Wrap the shoulders away from the ears. Let's take the arms out in front. Palms face each other. Root into your feet and into your tailbone. Take an inhale. We're gonna round through the spine, tucking under through the low back. Energy out through the fingers in front of you, really pressing into your feet here. And then we're gonna rise to a seat, lift the arms, press the sternum through, allow yourself to go into a little anterior tilt. Good, inhale, send the sternum back. Drop through the arms, shrugging through the shoulders, not a big round through the spine or a shoulder lift. We are rooting into the shoulders here, but we are rounding through the thoracic and lumbar. At the top, maybe send the hips a little forward. You might feel a little bit of your hip flexors there, that's okay. Really trying to open through the front body. Abs kick in at the bottom. Big inhale at the top. Last one, exhale. Finding that opposition, that sink, that heaviness, and then that buoyancy as we come up, pressing into our heels, sending the hips a little forward. Good. On this next one, we're gonna round and stay down at the bottom. You can give your knees a little wiggle if you're feeling a lot of hip flexor there. We're gonna lift just the right arm, send the sternum a little forward, see if we can find what feels like a teaser spine, a long spine, and then drop through, find that relief through the lumbar, maybe tucking under through the tailbone. Try it again with the left. Sternum comes forward, hips come into neutral. Big reach back with the arm, and then tuck under. This time, both arms press into the heels. Find that diagonal long through the spine, open through the chest, and then drop back through. 2 more. With both arms, press into the heels. Find that connection through the back of the legs. Open the chest without coming all the way to seat. And then round it back. Last one. Take the inhale, fill the spine, shine the sternum upward. And then exhale, settle all the way back down onto the mat. Extend at the knees, find a rest position. Take your hands to your hips and just a little rock side to side. From here, slide the right leg in, slide the left, and then float the right leg to tabletop, left to tabletop. We're gonna take the arms by our sides, palms facing up in a V position, so really broad through the front of your chest. Inhale, tap the right leg down, and then exhale, lift. Just the right side. Now, if this feels like too much or you feel like you're a little too shaky here, or you're moving a lot through the hips, you can always have that opposite leg down to help with some stability and just work through the lift and lower of the right leg. Inhale down, we exhale, lift. If you do have the leg floating, it is frozen here in space, knee over hip, shin close to in line or a little higher than the knee. Now notice what happens here with your chest as you drift the leg away. Are we letting it rise off the mat? See if you can think of your sternum really glued to the mat here without rounding through the shoulders. Now, if you want a little extra challenge, you're gonna flip to a goal pose position and then see if we can drop the palms to face up. So we're in this cactus arm. Inhale down, exhale, lift. It's gonna make it a little more challenging to not rise the chest off. See if we can release through the chin, the neck. Place that foot down, place the other foot down, take the soles of your feet together and just let your knees fall out. We'll rock side to side, opening through the hips. Let's try the other side. Plant the feet on the mat. We'll float right leg first this time, then exhale, lift the left. Inhale, tap the left down. Exhale, we lift. We're thinking about neutral pelvis here. So that just means your hip bones are shining to the ceiling, and we're really not letting our pelvis rock back and forth as we move through the hip. It's also easy here to cheat a little by just dropping your heel and your knee not really drifting anywhere. So think about your whole thigh bone coming forward and then exhale, pull back. And we're just locking the angle at the back of the knee. We're gonna feel a lot of difference there. You also don't have to be touching the floor when you drift. It can just be a little drift forward. You're still gonna get that ab connection because your abs are stabilizing your pelvis here. One more, inhale forward and exhale back. And then we'll drop the left, drop the right, find that butterfly again and just sway side to side. Good, let's extend out through the left. We'll float the right to tabletop, extend it up to the ceiling, bring the arms back. This time palms down in a wider V position and we'll flex and point at the ankle. Just feeling that stretch through the back of the leg. We're thinking of an extended knee. Of course, if that feels too flexible, you can have a slight bend, but more than just like a 90 degree. See how much you can get your leg to extension as you point and flex at the ankle joint. We'll leave it at the point, root into your back body so we're heavy on the mat. Take the leg over to the right side. Exhale, draw a circle, bring it back to center. We inhale to start the circle, exhale to circle back to start. Inhale around, exhale to return. Now, as we do this for now, we're gonna try and keep our hips stable, using our abdominals to do that. And then if you're feeling confident in this movement, you're gonna take your hips with you without letting your upper body move. So you won't take them on the out, but you'll take them as you come across. So you're kind of lifting up there without letting your right shoulder lift, and then bring it back. Take them across and lift. We're also rooting into our opposite heel as we do this. And you're gonna feel this sort of spiral through your thoracic spine as you take it around. Good. Last one. And then we'll hug that knee in, give it a few pumps, release through the front of the hip. Extend that leg out. We'll take the other knee in, extend it up to the ceiling. Let's go for that point and flex at the ankle joint, emphasizing this at the top of your foot, stretching with your toes curling forward, and then flex your toes back as they come towards your chest. This can be a soft knee, but we do want more of an extension at the knee than a bend. Good. We'll start without the hips moving. Take it out to the left first. Toe is pointed and circle around. My hips already want to move in this one, so I'm going to reduce my range until I can really feel my abs firing up to stabilize the pelvis. I'm not going to move the hips yet. 2 more. Inhale around. And exhale the other side. It's okay if there's some popping here as long as it's not painful. Now we're going to take the hips across as we go across the midline and back to neutral. So you are pausing the motion of the hips as you bring your leg out to the side as you abduct. Then they lift as you come across midline. Press heavy into that opposite heel. 1 more. And then hug the knee in. We'll bring the other knee to meet it and a little rock side to side. Float the right leg to tabletop, left to tabletop. Arms this time come to a T position, palms facing down. Root the shoulders down. Inhale, both legs are going to drift over to the right side, lifting up through the left hip here. And then exhale, come back. Same thing here, just staying nice and broad through the front of the chest. We'll take it over to the left this time. Inhale over and exhale back. Think about this as a stretch as you drift, and then an exercise as you come back, using your top side oblique to bring the knees. Now we're trying not to let our toes shift, getting into a false rotation. So think about heels and the inner edges of your feet staying fully connected, fully glued together. Same with your knees. Now you can start to play with how far you drift over without letting that opposite shoulder come up, rooting into the sternum. Inhale over. Exhale, deep breath into the top side body as you rise back to start. Let's do 1 more each way. Inhale over, a deep inhale into the ribs. Exhale, send it back. Last one. Good. Hug the knees in. Let's cross at the ankles. We'll roll it up. If you've got a kitty in front of you, just make sure you don't roll on top of them. Okay. Last thing here, let's come to a kneeling position facing forward. We're going to start seated on our heels. Let's take our hands back behind our head. Wrap the shoulders down, elbows in your peripheral. We're going to rise up to our knees, send your hips a little forward, and then open through the front of the chest. This is gentle. Squeeze your glutes, and then return back down. Now I'm going to show you from the side what I'm thinking. As we come up, send the hips, then the chest, squeeze your glutes, take your gaze up, and return back down. Now as we come down, I want you to close your elbows. Can you tap the mat here, round through the spine? Inhale, send the hips forward, open all the way through the front body. Squeeze, 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 let your hands support your head here. If you're feeling any tension in the low back, think about squeezing your glutes a little more and reducing your range. Inhale, we open. Exhale, we close. 1 more. Letting your head press into your hands, hands into your head. And close back to the front. Let's rise all the way up to that kneel and come to the side like me now. We're going to take our right hand back toward our heel. If we can reach it, send the left arm back, reach open through the front of the hips. From here to the right, toward the right knee, we circle low, connect the left hand to the left heel, open, reach. And then we repeat, come around, a soft, heavy circle to the other side, send the hips open, inhale, exhale, swing it around. Good. Now, if reaching for the heel is not available, you can take the arm just out to the side and take that stretch from there. Whatever feels more like a stretch without a strain. 1 more each way, big send. And to the other side, you might feel an ankle stretch here as you put pressure on the foot. And then let's return, both hands and knees. We're gonna send our weight back, hands walk forward. Meet me in a modified plank position, and we slowly lower all the way down. Last thing for today, we're gonna extend our right arm out to the right. You're gonna take your left hand just under your left shoulder and bend your left knee. Rotate over toward the right as you rock your hips and connect the toes to the mat. This is a big stretch for the front of the chest. If you can rest your head, go for it. Maybe wiggle your fingers and then return back just with a chest hover. Weight in that left hand. 2 more. We bend the knee, cross it over. Open through the front of the chest. Maybe a couple little rocks to stretch through the front pecs. And then bring it back. Last one on this side. Rooting into both palms. Cross. We're rotating to the right, bending our left. Let's try the other side. Right hand under shoulder. Left out to T, bend the right knee, press off, and spiral over, opening through the front of the hips. If you can get your knee to point up or even back, even better. And just be gentle with yourself. This is a pretty intense stretch if you've never done it before, or if you're feeling tight through the front body. Use your right hand as an anchor. Maybe we rest the head down. It's an extra stretch there. Bring it back. Last one. Just spend some time breathing in that position. Give the fingers a little wiggle. And come all the way back to your front body. We'll take our hands onto the mat, forehead onto the tops of our palms. Just give your hips a little rock side to side, returning to softness with the nervous system. And then we'll press ourselves up. Find that seated position we started with. Cross at the ankles. Heels of your palms to your breastbone. Soften the palms down. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, lift the chin. A gentle drag of the palms down, almost just like a settling of the shoulders. Inhale, return back to start. 2 more. We exhale. Definitely feel a little more open. Not sure about you. Last one. Almost just like a weighted blanket feeling on the chest. And gently release. We'll take our hands to our knees. Soften your gaze down. Just take a few breaths here. As we inhale, we're going to rise the chin, keeping the eyes closed. And exhale, let everything come heavy, maybe even just rocking the pelvis back, letting the shoulders round forward. As we inhale, drag the hands into the knees, send the sternum forward, soften the elbows, take the gaze up even though eyes are closed. And send it back, last one. Just letting this be fluid, intuitive, open, soft. Return back to center. Thanks for spending some time with me. Hopefully your chest feels a little more open. See you next time.